Kako, a Koma Maida Curtain Call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. As we come to the end of the year, it's time to look back on the best of what our youth performing arts groups have given us. The Standing Ovation Award 2024 for Best Drama or Comedy by a Youth Group, the Period 4 Intermediate and Advanced Acting class at Kinkekalike High School's production of Lizzie Borden Fall River. This was unique for a high school. Most high schools have a strong tendency toward musicals and comedies. This play not only dealt with patricide and matricide, but also mendacity, betrayal, feminism, toxic patriarchy, and psychotic hatred. We all know the story of Lizzie Borden and her 81 whacks, actually 29 or 30, but do we know what came before? That's what this play revealed, who she was and why she did what she did, and how she was brought to this level of rage by circumstances beyond her control. This was a courageous choice by Chris Kepler, and his students demonstrated outstanding abilities both in levels of truthfulness and character creation. The 2024 Standing Ovation Award for Best Youth Group Musical goes to Kinkekalike Drama's huge production of Disney's High School Musical on stage. Under the indefatigable direction of Chris Kepler, who was ably assisted by King K alum Rachel Simmons, this production featured 51 students on stage and a tech crew of 14 plus and an 8-member student and professional pit band. Like I said, huge. From the opening Wildcat cheer to the closing, "We're all in this together," it is a non-stop singing and dancing with a paucity of dialogue for two 60-minute acts, and they had live musicians under the able direction of Casey Nagata. This is the one thing that separates them from every other youth musical. Others should take their example. For Best Performance by a Lead Female in a Drama or Comedy, this was a very difficult one. There were the amazing Brewster sisters, Riley Stout and Skyly Kuroda, in Seabury's Arsenic and Old Lace. And then there was Miley Labonte as Annie Sullivan in Baldwin's Miracle Worker. But the Standing Ovation Award goes to Ella Lucy Boone Jess. About her, Lizzie Borden, I said, quote, is astounding. First of all, her physical resemblance to the real Lizzie Borden is uncanny. Then there is her portrayal. She clearly hates her stepmother. She refuses to refer to her as anything but your wife, to her father, Andrew Borden, and Mrs. Borden, to Abby's face. She can barely suffer being in the same room with her. Then she becomes a charming, attractive, fun-loving woman when in the presence of her sister, Emma, their maid, Bridget, her aunt, Vinnie, and Reverend Chubb. Hers is a charming, lovely, intelligent, and entirely likable Lizzie, who we think might be innocent of these crimes until she does a brilliant reveal, unquote. For Best Performance by a Male Lead in a Drama or Comedy, the 2024 Standing Ovation Award goes to Sean Cortez as Mortimer in Seabury Upper School's production of Arsenic and Old Lace, directed by Marcia Kelly. Sean Cortez was a confident Mortimer. When we meet him, he is over the moon in love with Elaine and wants to marry her this night. But as he becomes aware of the murders his aunts have committed, he is so rattled he forgets. He asked her to marry him, as he insists she go home and wait for him until the next day. His discovery of his true parentage later in the play gave him a moment of true elation. This was an excellent multi-dimensional performance. The 2024 Standing Ovation Award for Best Performance in a Musical by a Lead Female was another very difficult one. There was the wonderful Carolyn Salzer's Annie in Seabury Middle School's Annie Jr. Then the wonderful performance as Katie Heron by Anna Mae Stoops in Theater Maui's production of Mean Girls Jr. But the award goes to Keely Kepler in King K's High School Musical. I've watched Keely Kepler since she was in middle school, and she has distinguished herself every time she has stepped on stage. She is both an accomplished actor and singer. There's a maturity in her performance that belies her years. I can attribute it to good genes. Both her dad, Chris Kepler, and grandpa, Bill Kepler, have been stars of Maui stages in their own right. But that would be taking away from the talent and hard work this young woman has put into every show she has done. Her Gabriela Montez has beautiful moments when she is conflicted, confused, and determined. Her singing is heartfelt and honest. Every number she is in is as good as it can be. But the one that really got me was the duet with Troy in the opening of the second act. This scene has the most dialogue in the entire play, and it features the best song in this show that has lots of music. I Can't Take My Eyes Off You. The connection between the two was undeniable. The sparks were flying. Best performance by a male lead in a musical was Canon Birch's Troy in King K's High School musical. About his performance, I said, Canon Birch's Troy is a great swan song to an outstanding high school stage career. He has demonstrated an admirable range, and with his matinee idol good looks, he could go a long way. His Troy showed us the pain of disappointing a parent and the pressure of being the one others depend on while trying to be true to yourself. A complex and difficult character he pulled off admirably. Best supporting performance by a female in a drama or comedy goes to Ruby Kingdon as Eva in the Maui Onstage Education Youth Theater Program's production of David Lindsay Abair's Snow Angel. About her performance, I said, Ms. Kingdon's Eva was entirely real and believable. We know there was something about her that was different because every time she appeared, there was a magnificent display of northern lights. But to her credit, she played Eva just like she was one of the kids. Even her expressions, gestures, and emotions were contemporaneously colloquial. I loved her disappearing acts in the ice house. She knew fully well how she was throwing a big monkey wrench into the proceedings and delighted thoroughly in doing it. The 2024 Standing Ovation Award for Best Performance by a Male in a Supporting Role in a Comedy or Drama goes to Wolf Pellis for his Jonathan in Seabury's Arsenic and Old Lace. About his performance, I said Master Pellis' Jonathan is as creepy as his aunts are charming. His choice to walk without using his arms brilliantly enhanced the creepiness of this character. He was so sparing in his gestures when he did move his arms, it made a powerful statement. It was an unforgettable character he created. Now we come to the supporting roles in a musical, and this completes the sweep for King K's High School Musical. Both Betty Russo as Sharpay and Mello Heinrich as her brother, Ryan, take home the 2024 Standing Ovation Support Awards. About their work, I said Betty Russo's Sharpay is the other star of this show. As understated as Ms. Kepler was both in demeanor and costume, she is the other end of the spectrum, from her sparkly heels to her platinum blonde tresses. She revels in and expects the spotlight, and she deserves it. Every time she was on stage, and since she is the foil in this show, it was a lot, all of her songs were terrific, but her duets with her brother Ryan, Mello Heinrich, were showstoppers. Mello Heinrich's Ryan, they distinguish themselves every time they step on stage. Their Ryan is such a fun character who, unlike their sister Sharpay, hasn't a conniving bone in their body. Terrific singer, dancer, actor, and comic. A real quadruple threat. They will be missed. The hard work of Chris Kepler, Marsha Kelly, David Ward, Rachel Simmons, Christy Scott, Tina Kailaponi, Frances Tower, Vania Jerome, and Tracy Nagata in directing these young people in dramas, comedies, and musicals pays off in experiences they will never forget. And who knows, maybe we'll see one or more of them as adults on Broadway or the big screen in the future. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. Melikaliki maka and haoli makahiki ho. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.